Antony served an 8-month ban, came back, and scored a goal before a certain Brazilian winger. Antony currently has 0 goals and 0 assists in 20 plus appearances this season. But it's not just him not providing goal contributions, he is offering absolutely nothing for his team. Can't dribble, can't cross the ball, can't shoot. It seems like nothing is going his way. He's quite clearly becoming one of the worst, if not the worst transfer in Premier League history. On top of that, he's had his problems away from the pitch as well. Even when he signed for United back in 2022, many people were skeptical of his 100 million euros price tag, but nobody expected him to become this bad. So how did things go so wrong so fast? Let's try and take a look. Antony started his youth career at the Sao Paulo Academy, an academy that has produced many stars such as Ederson, Casemiro, David Luiz, Oscar, and so on. But the journey wasn't quite easy for Antony. He came so close to being released by the academy, but he worked hard and finally got his first team call-up in 2018. And by the next season, Antony had become a regular starter for the first team. Though he only scored 4 goals that season, it was apparent that he had a special talent, a talent that caught the eyes of Ajax from Netherlands. They bid 20 million euros for Antony and secured his signature in July of 2020. Antony had an impressive start in the famous red and white as he scored a goal on his debut. He competed against his fellow Brazilian David Neres for the starting spot, but eventually he made it his own as he finished the season scoring 10 goals and providing 10 assists, making him one of Ajax's crucial players in achieving the domestic double that season. It seemed like Antony had that inevitable Brazilian flair as he glided up and down the wing effortlessly, albeit with some showboating at times. Though he faced some injury problems, his second season was just as good as his first, if not better. Antony scored 10 goals and provided 12 assists throughout the season as Ajax won the Eredivisie title yet again. He also got the call-up to the Seleção that season after impressing with his time in the Netherlands. By the end of the season, it was revealed that head coach Erik ten Hag would be moving to Manchester United, and ten Hag had his eyes set on 3 of his former Ajax players when his move to Manchester was completed. The Dutch coach wanted Jurrien Timber, Lisandro Martinez and Antony at Old Trafford. The move for Timber fell through, but United were successful in acquiring Lisandro Martinez after Arsenal had also shown heavy interest in the Argentine. But when United approached Ajax for Antony, the Dutch side slapped a whopping 75 million euros price tag on the Brazilian, and as a result, United backed away from the transfer. However, Erik ten Hag was desperate for Antony, so United came back with an 85 million euros offer for the Brazilian, but Ajax rejected the offer as the transfer window neared its closure date. Upon hearing about United's latest offer, Antony failed to turn up to training in order to force the move, and as a result, he was left out of the matchday squad by Ajax for their upcoming game against Sparta Rotterdam. And Man United's desperation became even more apparent as they came back with a whopping 100 million euros for the Brazilian, making him the club's second most expensive signing after Paul Pogba. And Antony started his United career brilliantly, scoring on his debut in a 3-1 win over Arsenal. He then scored in his next 2 games as well, but after that, things started to go bad quickly. As a winger in the Premier League, he was expected to take on his defender and create chances for his attackers, but he massively struggled to do that and at times resorted to pointless showboating. He then went away to the World Cup with Brazil, but he also couldn't offer anything with his time with the Seleção. Although he scored a crucial goal against Barcelona in the Europa League, his next Premier League goal came 6 months after his last, and he quickly became subject to scrutiny both from the media and the United fans, as his performances couldn't live up to his hefty price tag. He finished the season with 8 goals and 3 assists for United. This wasn't the worst stat ever, but keeping in mind what they paid for him, and looking at what Rashford was doing on the opposite wing, Antony became subject to heavy criticism. Even forgetting about goals and assists, Antony didn't do much for the team attacking wise. For one, he didn't take on defenders enough, and his final balls were just not up to the standard. The silver lining of his season was the Carabao Cup win, as the club ended its 6-year wait for a trophy. hopes that the next season might get better faded fast, as Antony appeared to be in his worst form so far, as were Manchester United. He was consistently putting in bad performances that Ten Hag had no choice but to give right-footed Garnacho Antony's place. In total, he has made over 20 plus appearances so far this season, but he has 0 goal contributions. And if his form continues like this, he might end up becoming the worst transfer in Premier League history. For instance, Nicolas Pepe, who is unanimously viewed as a Premier League flop, had 21 goal contributions in his second season. Antony, on the other hand, who has an even higher price tag, is in a far worse state because he's just not offering anything for United currently, and he is the epitome of what is wrong with the club in the first place. Reports have come out recently that United initially valued Antony at 25 million, but after the desperation of the coach, they ended up paying 4 times as much as that. Same thing could be said about Jadon Sancho, who came in for a hefty fee but couldn't live up to the expectations. And that seems to be the theme of United signings post-Fergie. And if you want to see more about how bad Manchester United has been functioning over the last decade, you can watch this video next. Until next time, see ya.